fire. She's 2 for 2.
Coaches and wrestling coaches are going to be looking at Brian.
It's a no-hitter for Andrew Visconti.
We welcome you into the Mesa Arena for a battle of GMC versus the GCL and 1-0 teams. My name is Isaac Varga alongside Caden Winship. And Caden, a big night for the Comets tonight against the St. X Bombers. Let's go back into the game on Friday night in a very good game against Fairmont.
Yeah, and it was a real close one, went down the wire 46-45 in overtime. It was a really good defensive game. Both teams were struggling to get things going offensively, and were really just like physical up on the defensive end. It was the first win for Coach Fleming at Mason, and Bryson Johnson, volume shooter, shot 23 times, was able to make 11 of them and a couple more from the free throw line to get 26 total points. And it was a very starters-heavy game. Normally you don't see that early on in the season, but Mason, relied heavily on those starters, and it was the first win in overtime since 2023 against Dakota East. A big win to start the season for the Comets, and really kind of a momentum builder as we head into this next game.
Yeah, and it feels like a sigh of relief to get that first win under your belt. The Comets, with 4 wins last year, it's a program least, and it just felt like it was a huge chance to get on the board, and 1-0 always feels better than 0-1, and the Comets did that. And Bryson Johnson, yeah, he shot the ball 23 times. He made 11 times, but a lot of those shots in the paint, a lot of those shots you could say might not have been the best shots, but at the same time, I think you need a lot more help from the supporting cast today in this game. Sid Wortham, Tosin Oladapo, those guys did a good job on the defensive end, but if you can find some offensive production against a very good St. X defense, I think that's what you need to win the game tonight.
Yeah, and the Comets, they only shot 10 three-pointers in the last game, and I expect that to come up in this game. St. X is a very physical, very quick team, probably a lot easier to crash on Bryson's drives, and so Bryson should be looking to dish the ball out to his guys on the outside in order to get more open looks for his teammates.
And I think tonight is a very special night, not only because it's St. X versus Mason, GCL versus GMC, but it is a brotherly matchup as to the coaches. So Coach Fleming, CJ Fleming for the Mason Comets, and then Ryan Fleming, the head coach for St. X tonight. So what a matchup it is for both these teams. Obviously, Coach CJ Fleming took over for the Comets this year. It was his first win just on Friday. He's got a 35-18 record in his 2 years at Baden. And then going over to Ryan Fleming, he was at Summit Country Day where he went 64-31, and then he came over to St. X, and he's very similar with a 35-13 record. So very good track records from brothers in this matchup. So that will do it for the pregame show, as we'll have a very exciting matchup here at Mason Arena. We'll hope you tune in. Tip-off just moments away. We welcome you back into the Mason Arena for St. X versus Mason Comets. My name is Isaac Varga alongside Caden Winship. Your starters for St. X are Charlie Gruber, Luke Source, George Kinney, Liam McGeady, and Jack Ryan. For the Comets, it is Bryson Johnson, Sidney Wortham, Tosin Oladapo, Tyler, and Jacob Lipinski. Both are the same from each of the first games of the season. So we get ready to get started. As in the first game, both teams played in overtime in this arena in the Ohio Valley Hoops Classic. For the Comets, they won by 1 in a game. Bryson Johnson had 26 points and his second most points ever in a game. And then St. X beat Brejuve Jesuit from Indiana in a 64-56 game. So both teams with not a lot of depth so far in this season, but have a lot of experience. As the Comets are going to have to deal with a little bit more size than they did on Friday. Main player to look at for the Bombers is going to be tipping here to start, number 24, Liam McGeady. He dropped 23 in an 8 for 12 field goal performance in game 1.
Yeah, and Liam McGeady, he can shoot from all over this place. He's able to shoot from 3, he's able to shoot from the inside. He can score at all 3 levels, so that's something the Comets need to be concerned about, not just his size on the inside.
St. X will start with it. A little bit of an undersized squad with a little bit of football players not playing today. The Source has it at the top, Ryan on the right. Comets with great defense on Friday. Can't get a stop early. Jack Ryan with an early offensive rebound. Something St. X did really good in their first game, even with the lack of size. Mason allowed just 43 points in the home opener.
Yeah, Mason doing an excellent job stopping ball right now, preventing drives, and
And it was stripped there from Johnson, swinging out to the right. It's Gruber at the top of the key. Missed it again. Ryan, offensive rebound. He can't get to go, and McGeady will clean it up. Multiple chances for St. X, and they're the first on the scoreboard.
yeah, you get enough offensive rebounds, eventually one of them's going to fall. St. X did a really good job crashing the glass there.
As the main storyline today is the coaching matchup we mentioned in the pregame. Ryan Fleming for the Comets. Ryan Fleming for the Bombers and CJ Fleming for the Comets. Brothers in a coaching duel tonight. As Johnson has it at the top. He was limited to 3 points in this matchup last year as the Comets lost 64-39 on the road to the Bombers. Sidney Wortham in his second career start. Tyler Pinsky in the left key, picks it up. Johnson at the top, has the mismatch, and it's stripped away. McGeady on the 2-on-1, hands it off to Source, and he misses it. Comets in transition. Johnson spins in the lane, kicks it over to Lipinski.
Pump fake
Comets
might have
slow
been
it down.
unnecessary.
Good move there from Tyler Lipinski, and he takes it in. Only 20 points, only 20 minutes for the senior because of foul trouble, but he's the first on the board for the Comets.
Yeah, and the Comets, they're going to need to try to take advantage in transition. This team, the Comets team is quick, but St. X has the length in order to stop those dribble drives from Bryson Johnson, as we had seen just then. So the Comets need to make sure to move in transition and try to find the gaps some other way.
Comets very handsy in the perimeter. Gets it over to McGeady. Wortham held him. It'll be the first foul of the day on number 12 in white.
And that's something the Comets need to be very careful of. Last game, they got into a little bit of foul trouble, and Fairmont shot a lot of free throws, and this is a St. X team that makes their free throws at a really, really solid clip at around 80% as a team. So Comets are really going to need to focus on that.
That's something Mason struggled with this season, just only in one game of due, but 8 of 16 from the line for that 50%, not something that will win you much ball games. He'll take it in, and over the top is Charlie Gruber. Johnson tried getting the charge. I don't think he would have got it anyways. Lucky he wasn't in and one.
Yeah, he was probably in the cylinder there. Wouldn't have been called.
Jacob Lipinski is at the top. Finds Oladapo. He's looking for his first varsity points. As Wortham will reset. Comets going through their offense, willing to play the slow game as they showed last game and even tonight. Johnson trying to penetrate, slips. Finds Lipinski. Finds his brother, Jacob, at the top, and he got it to go. Brother, Tyler Lipinski to Jacob Lipinski.
There's a beautiful shot there. Top of the key, able to go inside out. That's what the Comets need to be focusing on, inside out. They have the 3 shooters that will execute the three-pointer at a consistent rate, so they need to be able to get some shots up from behind the arc.
It's the Comets flying around again. McGeady on Johnson, swings it over. He's taking in is Gruber. Finishing is McGeady, but doesn't count. Foul before the shot. So give him the shooting foul. It'll be Charlie Gruber's first time at the line today. He had 4 turnovers and 4 fouls in game 1 and a 9-point performance, a career high at that. He came in every single game last year, just doesn't really score the ball.
They won't give that one as a shot. They'll call it, say it was on the ground, so Sanex will not get the free throws.
Comets with 2 fouls, Bombers with 0. Three and a half minutes left in this first quarter. 5-4 in favor of the Comets. What a great job Mason's doing right here. Coach CJ Fleming loves it. A different play style from Coach Tui's last year. 3 ball is good. It's George Kinney from downtown. He went 1 for 9 from 3-point land. Last game shows not afraid to shoot it, knocks down his first. As it's a hold there on the Bombers, will be their first team foul, first on Charlie Gruber.
Yeah, and majority of St. X was very, very disciplined in the foul game. There were 2 guys in foul trouble, but outside of that, they were very, very smart with their fouls. They were not overly physical. They did a good job in that department.
Oladapo swings it over. A lot of motion going on. Johnson trying to get going. Knew it might be a down night for him just with the really good defense St. X has, especially on the perimeter. Johnson finds his spot. Can't get to go. Lipinski tries to get the rebound. And it'll go the Comets' way.
Yeah, it's hard to tell when that ball's pinballing around off of all the hands, but I thought they had just switched possession. I'm wrong.
Good heads up there from Lipinski to fight down low. He's a guy that they're going to need all game long. He didn't have any foul trouble last game. And Cole Swanson checking in for the first time today. He had a lot of minutes with Tyler Lipinski getting in foul trouble early in the game. Couldn't knock down the threes he was given, but did a good job rebounding the ball. Johnson slips and almost falls. Resets it to Tyler Lipinski. No Wyatt Cooper for the Comets tonight. Still dealing with that ankle injury. He'll be back in about a week and a half, so he says. As there'll be a carry on Jacob Lipinski. Comets are trying to find offense in the can't do it so far. 7-5 score, just 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Checking back in is both Oladapos, Toby and Tosin. Number 11, Toby Oladapo, is a senior. And Tosin, just a sophomore.
Yeah, and Toby very prideful in his defensive ability. He'll run a guy all the way down the court, and he's just very physical, very up in your face, as you can see right here. It's just all up on him.
As Toby Oladapo in there for defense, has done a really good job doing his job.
He's overwhelming. He'll start guarding a guy at the other 3-point line.
as McGeady lines it up short and goes to Toby Oladapo. Back to Johnson. Johnson decides to slow it down. Over to Swanson from the corner. Can't get it to drop. McGee just kept it in bounds. Reset back to Gruber. Look at Toby Oladapo sitting down at the top. Corner three there, air ball. And what a save there from Jacob Lipinski. And the Comets steal the possession back. 30 seconds left. Comets will look to hold for one. The score was 7-4 in the first quarter of the first game. And it looks to be 7-5. The Comets trying to add on to the scoreboard. Johnson with 9. With 8. Spins into the lane and holds. Can't get it to drop. Rebound to the Bombers. And that will do it. Another slow motion first quarter in favor of the Bombers. The score is 7-5. We'll be back for second quarter action here on Mason Sports Radio. Back for second quarter action here at Mason Arena, and it's a 7-5 score. The Comets scored 3 points on St. X on the road last year, and it was a 13-3 score in this game last year. Now it's 7-5. This time, Comets doing a really good job on defense. Johnson hasn't scored yet this quarter, had 26 in the season opener. Oladapo takes it to the baseline. Looking for answers. As Jay Golpinski with the step through. He loves doing that move. And he's got 5 so far out of the 7.
Yeah, it was a really good move. Getting to the baseline, finding the open layup, and hitting the glass with the right angle for that one to roll in.
Ryan from deep in the corner. Dual sport athlete, actually a Boston College commit for baseball. Johnson spins in, finds Oladapo. Back over to Johnson, moves it over to Swanson. And you can tell that the play style is very similar for both teams. It's almost like they came from the same family. To the corner, Ryan will get another one just off this time. Comets choose to slow it down, had numbers. Comets resetting. Johnson moves it in, nothing doing. Wortham at the top, pressured, spins it over, kicks it over. Oladapo just couldn't get it to go. Another tip out there. Comets, another offensive rebound. An old-fashioned game so far. As it's going to be a timeout from CJ Fleming. Not afraid to talk things over. In that possession was Cam Schaefer, number 12 for St. X, checking into the game. The freshman had 12 points and 8 rebounds at just 6 foot tall in his 27 minutes off the bench for the Bombers in game 1.
Yeah, and what's worked for the Comet so far is, getting it inside and then working it back out, or just getting it inside and finishing through that. So what they need to do is start working into Lupinski in the post, or to have a dribble drive you can go up. I mean, they've done a great job trying to get the second-hand boards. They've been aggressive on the boards. So trying to get through there on the inside and getting it back out for an open 3.
Yeah, Caden, I think St. X has been very aggressive on the perimeter on defense. I think a backdoor cut could work at any moment.
Yeah, and the Comets, they haven't worked it inside at all. It would be real hard for St. X to kind of see it coming even.
We'll see what Fleming draws up after the timeout. Just the first timeout of the game for either team. Five minutes left in the half. It's been on this side of the floor for a couple minutes now. No shot clock in high school basketball. Johnson misses it, and rebound by Source.
There was good ball movement on that one. They were moving it around, trying to get open shots. They had a bunch of solid looks, and that one just didn't go in for them.
Might have been a little impatient, but it goes the other way. Jack Ryan with the illegal screen. Bails the Comets out. Only one foul in the first period for the Bombers, and this is going to be the first one of this quarter. His first, team's first. Tosin Oladapo looking for his first varsity points, and he'll get it inside there with a good move to the right. Comets down by 1.
Yeah, that was a great job. The Bombers have been working over the top of those screens, kind of focusing on the potential three-pointer off the screen and not focusing on the dribble drive, and that was a great job identifying that and getting an open lane to the hoop.
Source at the top, back to Ryan. Kicking it over. Comets are doing such a good job on the defensive end. Ryan sees the matchup with a smaller Johnson, decides to kick it over. Comets switch back over. Kicking it out on the left side. Lining it up is Schaefer, the freshman. Good lefty stroke there. Was 4 for 4 from 3 in game, was 2 for 4 from 3 in game 1. Knocks his first one down there. Lipinski looking over to Johnson. Johnson kicks it in, checks it out, and just off, but a push underneath on Tosin Oladapo will keep it on this side. Checking into the game for the Comets will be Cole Swanson, and back into the game. And Matt Perez, for the first time this season, checks into the game. Liam McGeady, as well as Luke Suthers, checks in for the first time. And it's knocked down there from the big Luke McGeady. Swanson over the corner, couldn't find it quick enough.
I believe that was a 3-second call underneath on Swanson. Just didn't get out of there in time, just kind of sat there for too long. Couldn't decide if he wanted to go up with it or dish it.
As Tosin and Toby Oladapo check into the game. Toby Oladapo will sit down for 70 feet. Finds a mismatch there. Could have been a foul, no call either way. And it'll be a push. They went with the foul at the bottom. It's gonna be on Jacob Lipinski. His second, a little concerning for the Comets, as their tallest player and most physical down low gets his second. And that will check out Lipinski, so now Tyler Lipinski will have Liam McGeady at the top. 13-9, just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. That's good defense there from Lipinski, knocks off the shot of Gruber. Toby Oladapo moves it to his brother, swings it all the way over to Wortham. Comets moving the ball. Just a little stagnant on the outside, not a lot of movement to the inside. As Lipinski does that, a good recovery from the Bombers. As in between was Johnson, and it's going to end up being a jump ball. On the ground was Luke Southers, and he'll go St. X direction.
And the Comets looking a little bit stagnant on offense right now, not as much movement. You need to start trying to work the ball a little bit more than just right around the perimeter. Trying a little bit more dribble drives. They're just kind of getting stuck, not really knowing what to do.
Source takes the inbound. Toby Oladapo on him. Ryan swings it over to Schaefer, and he's locked up. It's been a defensive chess match so far. The Comets only gave up 43 points so far, only 13 in the first half. McGeady tries to find his way in, and great defense there from Tyler Lipinski to take it back.
That was really good. Just grabs onto the ball. He tries to go up with the shot, and he just stuffs him. He doesn't even get a chance to look at the rim before that ball is just grabbed.
Comets go offense, defense. Cole Swanson and Matt Perez check back into the game for Tosin and Toby Oladapo. Matt Perez, a three-point shooter despite the size. Comets haven't had a lot of attempts from behind the arc, and taking in is Johnson. He'll get his first points of the game, and it'll be cut the lead down to 2.
That was a great job. It was a quick first step. He got right by his man and just went right to the cup, was able to lay it in.
There's not a single guy on this Comet team that can't defend. Out to the outside is Schaefer lining it up. Rebound Comets, goes Johnson. Johnson coast to coast, clips it in. Foul, count it. And one, Bryson Johnson.
It was a great hop step to force the contact and still be able to get up a good shot. He did a really good job getting the advantage there.
And it was a good job by the freshman Cam Schaefer to block up. Johnson just finished, and now Comets going offense, defense again. And it's only the second quarter, but it feels like every possession matters in this type of game.
Yeah, especially when both teams have such stout defenses and they take their time on offense. It just, the possessions, they shrink. There's not as many of them.
Johnson finishes the three-point play, and he'll check out for Jude Marches. He'll check in for the first time today.
The Comets on a little bit of a run here. It's giving them a 1-point lead late in the half.
Oladapo again, picking up from 70 feet. A completely different mindset this year from new head coach C.J. Fleming. Comets lead by 1. 38 seconds to go in the half. Taking to the outside, foul and 1. Charlie Grouper got past Oladapo.
St. X takes it right back. Mason had the momentum. They're going to answer with their own and 1 there.
Charlie Gruber, a 4-year varsity guy, only career high is 9 points. So he has a couple already in this game, and had 4 fouls in game 1 as well as 4 turnovers at the point guard position. So he'll miss the free throw. Comets will have the last shot. 30 seconds to go 15-14 in the second quarter. Johnson trying to get away from the 5-second call. So he'll go with 8. Almost the same story as the first quarter. Moving over, 2 guys on him. Sets it over. Cole Swanson from the corner. Can't get it to go.
They won't
At
give
the
it a
top.
hit the bar on top of the backboard. It will not count.
The top of the backboard limits the Comets to only 14 in the first quarter. They were only down 1 point against the St. X Bombers. We'll be back for second half action here on Mason Sports Radio. Welcome you back for second half action here at Mason Arena. My name is Isaac Varga alongside Caden Winship. And Caden, it was a very slow first half of play. The Comets only scored 14 points on offense, but they're only down 1.
Yeah, and I mean the Comets, it's kind of what their what's the word, like, plan is going into it, is just slow it down. You know, St. Xavier's a really good offensive team. They can score from all 3 levels. So Comets, once they get to that half-court offense, they take their time. They look for open shots, and they don't panic. They realize the clock is their friend, for at least for now, and that they can slow it down and keep this game tight.
I'm starting to realize Coach C.J. Fleming is not afraid to hold the ball for 2-3 minutes at a time, and his brother Ryan Fleming does the same thing. So that's mostly why we have a 14-15 game. There's only been couple fast break transition opportunities. And even if they had those opportunities, both teams would decide to slow it down. First half, Bryson Johnson had 5 points. Jacob Lipinski with 5 points. And a couple others to get the 14 points. It'll be Tosin Oladapo, both Lipinski's. Jacob with 2 fouls in the first half. Sid Wortham and then Bryson Johnson. Jack Ryan will float it up there for the first points of the second half, and the easiest so far for the Bombers. As Comets moving the ball. Johnson not holding the ball for too long. Seems like the plan was definitely moving it. Tyler Lipinski moves it in, out to Sid Wortham. Sid to Tyler. Just short on the back iron, and good box out there from Jack Ryan to get it to Charlie Gruber. And it looks like the Comets have decided to switch. There's a 3-pointer there from Gruber, is off the iron. So they're getting Tyler Lipinski to go on McGeady in the second half to maybe limit foul trouble for Jacob, as Johnson forces up one there, can't get it to drop.
And that might have been one of the quickest possessions Mason has had all day long. He went right there. There was no pass around. They picked it up a little bit there, tried to get a shot off.
Yeah, there's been a couple times that Johnson has gotten a little impatient, you could say. Is a good box out there from Sid Wortham, and on the wraparound was Charlie Gruber, and he'll get tasked on the foul. It'll be his second of the game, only the first of the foul for either team. .6:20 left in this first half of play. Comets moving it around. Johnson penetrates, kicks. Lipinski short. Rebound Gruber, and the Comets still looking for their first points of the second half. Comets getting a little lazier on the defensive end. As a fake and a drive baseline, and a good foul there from Sidney Wortham as the Bombers kicked it over and had a man. But Wortham tried to get the charge, almost gives up a foul. It'll be Wortham's second, and he'll check out of the game for Toby Oladapo. Caden, talk to me about Toby's first half impactfulness. He didn't shoot a single shot, but his presence was known. As a 3-pointer there, barely grims the iron as Oladapo fights for it. Tosin, and he'll go the Comets' way.
Yeah, as you were saying, Toby, he doesn't shoot the ball very much, but his impact is very well noted. He run the court, he'll play very physical defense, he'll be able to rebound. I mean, he does a really good job just kind of filling in on offense when needed, but I mean, defensively, he's one of the most valuable Comets.
And it'll be a timeout for Ryan Fleming and the Bombers, and it seems like just early in this second half of play, there's been a lot of good looks for St. X, and they haven't really dropped so far. And Mason, they've kind of been rushing and getting a little bit impatient on the offensive end. Still only a 3-point game. anybody's game.
And I mean, there's plenty of time left in this game. We got 5:42 left in the third quarter, and the Comets now have the ball. It's just about taking advantage of the opportunities you have. You know, the Comets have a great opportunity here to cut the lead and build upon that. You know, it's just taking advantage and executing when you need to.
As both teams will wrap it up. 5:42 in the third quarter. I mean, never do you see this low scoring of a game. Both teams have been very disciplined in their defensive attacks. But something you got to mention for this Comet team, they got to be very careful with Jacob Lipinski and him getting in foul trouble. He had 2 in the first half. So far, there hasn't been any problems. Cole Swanson checked in the game for the Comets. There hasn't been a big impact for Liam McGeady either for the Bombers. Number 24, the 6'5" forward, only has a couple points. Swanson tees one up. This time he gets it to go. It's a tie game and he loves it. Comets tie at 17-17. The student section has just now stood up and waited a couple minutes for their team to get on the board.
And that was a huge one. I mean, dribbling inside, Lipinski finds the open man.
And it's
great
been
job
a
getting back
frustrating start to the season for Swanson. He's had a lot of good looks, 5 3-pointers. That was the first one to drop. You could tell it's a lot of weight lifted off his shoulders. Taking on Swanson and scooping with the left hand. Charlie Gruber answers with an and one of his own.
Yeah, that's a really good answer there by St. Xavier. I mean, you know, they get the game tied, and to go down and almost answer 1 for 1 if he hits this free throw here. That was a really, really crucial play there to keep him up.
As missing the free throw could end up being costly. As Tosin Oladapo takes it in the lane, tries to spin underneath and just doesn't get it to go. Good use of the pivot. Comets again without Wyatt Cooper, their senior. As McGeady has position underneath, and it's going to get every single time. As CJ Fleming has to call a timeout. It's only a 4-point lead, but it feels a lot bigger, the biggest lead of the day for the Bombers. And after what felt like a 3-pointer from Cole Swanson shifted the momentum over to the Comets, it was a Charlie Gruber and one to shift it in the opposite direction. And we look on to both of these teams in the first game. We mentioned it before, they both played in overtime affairs in the first game. The Comets sneaked it out in a 46-45 game against Fairmont. And then you look at St. X, they might not be too familiar with these low-scoring games. They put up a solid 64 points. They gave up 56. They were dominant in their overtime period against Breff Jesuit out of Indiana. As both teams come out, it's been a lot more urgency for both of these teams. 3 timeouts left for the Comets, 4 for the Bombers. And Coach CJ Fleming not afraid to use timeouts at any time. Whenever he feels a little uncomfortable with how his team's playing, he decides to use them. As Johnson tries to get going, only 5 points in the game so far. Comets have been trying to do those backdoor cuts. Nothing doing. Swanson clears it to the top. Finds Tosin Oladapo on the left wing. The Comets doing a lot of movement. Finds Jacob Lipinski, tees it up, it's short, but rebound Cole Swanson. A lot of offensive chances for this undersized Comet team. Johnson has tried to take it in all day, uses that spin move, slows it down. They call it a travel just before the bucket. A little bit of a delay.
Yeah, and it was kind of a close one. It almost was like it was a foul or a travel. He was kind of leaning his body into it. It might have been like a stumble because of that, but they call a travel there, and the Comets will lose possession.
Liam McGeady will inbound. He had 23 in the first game. He's been very quiet tonight. As McGeady has the positioning on Tyra Lipinski, but he can't get it. Schaefer from deep. Doesn't get it, but down low, it's a foul on Tyra Lipinski.
There was a lot of shoving down there, both sides. They just get Lipinski with that one. But, I mean, that could have gone on two different St. X guys on a different side of the ball, on the different side of the rim, pardon me.
A lot of work down low for number 13, Tyra Lipinski. He hasn't been the guy to guard the bigger defenders. It's been his brother. And what a feed down low from McGeady to Ryan. Jacob Lipinski tried taking the charge. Great awareness by the big man. It's now a 6-point game. Comets still can't find anything. Toby Oladapo at the top to Sid Wortham. Sid Wortham hasn't even attempted a shot today. He's supposed to be that three-point shooter. Is Jack Ryan clapping in the face? Nothing the Comets can do. And miscommunication, and Liam McGeady takes it away. And it'll be a foul on Jacob Lipinski.
Yeah, and the Comets there on that possession just looked uncertain. They couldn't really decide where to go and what to do. You know, just kind of looking around, trying to figure stuff out. St. Xavier had them really well guarded there. You know, they were staying in front of the dribble drives. They were guarding the passing lanes really well, just kind of making the Comets uncertain of what to do next.
Third on Jacob Lipinski. It feels like the Comets are getting a little bit impatient about this slow gameplay. And St. X has been the more determined team. No matter they could get it, as Matt Perez checks in for Lipinski and Tosin checks his brother Toby out of the game. Comets down the most they've been all day at 7. Most they've been all season. And he missed it. Another
The Comets can't keep it close. St. X will start running.
As Oladapo on the corner, got it to go.
Goodness.
Toby
How do you answer a
Oladapo.
10-0 run with an 11-0 run? The Comets take the lead 28-27 late in this one.
As what an answer from the Comets. We apologize for the audio issues, but they've came all the way back, and it's been a lot of three-point shooting to get this team back in the game. It's been that play style. CJ Fleming, this team have no lack of fight, as it's a one-point game.
And just as St. Xavier thought they were going to pull away, the three from Matt Perez, the end of the quarter, and then the Comets go on a huge 8-0 run to start the fourth. And now the Comets have the momentum, have the lead, with just 6:14 left in this one.
As what a switch and what a win it would be for the Mason Comets, as they go to Princeton after this game, in a game in which the girls play before them. It's a doubleheader. It's Mason girls play Princeton, and then the boys play the finale right after them. It's a rare occurrence of that, but what it would be 2-0 going into the GMC if the Comets can knock off the GCL St. X Bombers. It's Toby Oladapo. I mean, defensive guy, didn't make the team last year under Coach Tui, and decides to come back for his senior year and knocks down a three-pointer.
And
Definitely
that
could
was
have been a push.
He pushed off of him. That should have been a charge. It was a really bad no call. Toby does a good job hustling back and preventing the advantage.
As the Bombers will play on. Comets with one foul, St. X with one foul. Oladapo.
Physical defense
Harassing
from Toby Oladapo.
Gruber.
Oh,
And
he
takes
pokes it,
from him.
and they call a kickball
It's gonna
violation
go
on the
that
Bombers.
way. Toby Oladapo playing out of his mind in the
What
fourth
a
quarter.
huge stop there. He runs the full court, gets pushed over, gets up, runs back, and makes a huge defensive stop to get the Comets the ball.
And the guy you wouldn't necessarily think would be the guy that takes the game over, but Oladapo does his job, and he's checked out for a breather. 5:30 to go. Johnson trying to do what he can after a three-pointer. He finds Tosin, who finds Cole Swanson. Swanson shot a lot of three-pointers from that same spot against Fairmont, just knocked in his first one today.
Slowing it down now, the clock's your friend.
No shot clock in high school as Johnson falls down.
They're going to call a foul. He leaned over top of Bryson there. You're not allowed to do that.
Wow.
So they're going to get a foul on the Bombers, and they're not very happy about that.
As it could have definitely been a jump ball.
Or
There'll be a
timeout. I think it was timeout Comets.
timeout Mason. They have 2 remaining in the game. They have the lead with 5:10 to go. And in CJ Fleming's first year at the helm with the Mason Comets, he had a very successful career at Baden. Played at LaSalle in high school in just 2017. A very young coach in his mid-20s, facing off against his brother Ryan Fleming for the St. X Bombers. And a lot of experience with that, the Fleming family. Their dad, Dan Fleming, was 27 years as a head coach. He coached LaSalle, and he won the state championship in 2011 with Ryan Fleming, and is the winningest coach in LaSalle history with 335 wins. So he's here today to see which of his sons could maybe follow in his footsteps. Both coaches have done a phenomenal job, but never have faced off against each other. As the Comets struggling to get it in, as it's going to be a hold on the Bombers. It's their second of the quarter.
That was almost a bailout. That was nearly a 5-second call. That's why I thought the whistle was 4 initially, and that's a big mistake there by the Bombers. They just didn't do that. They might have the ball right now. Oh,
As Johnson
what a
down
move.
low gets it to go, and the Comets up 3.
The run now up to 13-0 as the Comets have it 30-27, 5 minutes left.
Toby and Tosin Oladapo check into the game for Cole Swanson and Sid Wortham. CJ Fleming's played this game a lot all day with the subbing defense and offense, and he does it here in the fourth quarter. Toby Oladapo picks up from full court again. Grouper's had a long night. As Johnson playing great defense. The student section alive for the Comets. Jack Ryan's has it at the top, has had a slow second half. Toby Oladapo.
Tip there on that pass.
As the Comets stifling defense again. McGeady tries to find his way underneath and does. A big man finish as Jake Lipinski comes down a little bit shaken up. He'll be the last one in the huddle as it's a timeout for the Comets. They only have one remaining. So CJ Fleming not afraid to use all of the timeouts he's given. As 4 minutes left in this game, the Comets are without their senior starter, Wyatt Cooper, and Sidney Wortham has been the starter in place of him. And Sidney hasn't really shot a lot of shots tonight. He's kind of the guy you would expect to get those three-pointers and those dish outs from Johnson, but it's been such good defense from the Bombers. He's only been limited to one shot, and that you could argue was a forced three-pointer. But 4 minutes left in the game. The Comets have shown in their last game against Fairmont they can hold this clock for as long as they want. So you'd expect Coach Fleming is telling his team you don't have to rush this game.
Yeah, now the Bombers are issuing a full court press now, and the Comets need to get some help down there for them.
As McGeady will pick up Johnson at half court. Not the suspect you would expect to guard the 6-foot senior. As a screen coming, Johnson will take it in. Slows it down to Wortham. Wortham will slow it back down to Johnson. Comets taking their time. Jacob Lipinski is in a little bit of foul trouble. 3 fouls. We'll kick it over. Johnson almost turned it over. As Tyler Lipinski over to Bryson. Bryson kicks it in. Finds Jacob Lipinski down low. What a feed from number 1. Comets lead by 3 with 3.5 minutes to go.
A little no-look pass, getting it done for him.
And Tosin with a bump on Grouper. It will be the second team foul for the Comets. Neither team in foul trouble. As for both sides, Luke Source, the 5'9" senior, will check into the game, as well as Toby Oladapo for his brother. And you got to think St. X might be a little shocked right now at what they're seeing. You look at Mason, they had 4 wins last year. They didn't really have a lot of people coming in that were crazy guys you could look at. It's a lot of returners, and the Comets have kind of taken them by shock this second half.
Yeah, and I mean, they've done a great job limiting opportunities for St. X. It's been hard for St. X to get a lot of shots up like they were able to in their last game.
A lot of talk on this defense. Jake Lipinski with McGeady on him. The backdoor cut on Oladapo. Gets it to go. Luke Source. And the Bombers not folding with 3 minutes to go. Johnson will slow it down. Ryan Fleming versus CJ Fleming. Brothers going at it for the first time in a 32. You would think a 46-45 game was low scoring enough. It's 32-31. So Dapo will fake it. Johnson will get it stripped away right to Sidney Wortham, but it'll be a travel. And Sidney Wortham frustrated with himself.
The ball almost slipped out of his hands there. He just kind of missed the dribble that he needed to take there. And now St. X has the ball back.
Trying to move a little bit too quick. Oladapo picks him up at the top. Ubipinski over to the number 10 inside, and it's off the glass. Kinney couldn't get to go. The Comets have numbers. They'll decide to slow it down. Wortham had it in the corner, but the Comets do the smart play and turn it and slow it down. 2 minutes to go in the game.
They could use up every single second here if they wanted to. Just got to be smart with the ball.
I think they possibly should. They can take as long as they want and get the shot that they need. Johnson. There's not a lot of intensity here from the Bombers. As Opinski will clear it out to his brother, and it'll be back to Johnson. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Bombers was very lucky. The Comets get Jacob Lipinski ran away as Bryson almost threw it away. But a foul there from the Bombers gives him the third of the half.
And that wasn't intentional, but it might have been needed. That was his third one. That was his third personal. And, you know, once you kind of get to the spot, it's kind of good to have some fouls under you rather than having to foul several times in order to get someone into the bonus.
Comets go defense, offense, as well as the Bombers. Checking in for the first time is Ethan Myers. Played in the JV game before this. Would say he's warmed up, but it's been about an hour and a half since he's been out there. He's guarding Sidney Wortham on the right side. Tosin Oladapo checked in for Toby for offense. Johnson swings to the right. Back to Lipinski. Comets doing a good job and not turning it over. A lot more pressure from the Bombers. A minute left in the game. And a timeout from CJ
their final
Fleming.
Timeout.
That's the final one.
It had been a whole minute since last time I mentioned the clock, and Mason still has possession of the ball. He did have to burn the final timeout to keep it, but that is a very, very good job by Mason keeping possession of the ball for so long.
So now you got to think, if you want to win this game, you have to be very good with the ball. St. X is bringing that trap at the top. Bryson Johnson showed that he does a really good job of getting away from the traps and finding the right guy. You'd think down low with Jacob Lipinski in the paint is going to be open. So if you can find that look as early as possible, you can take that layup to take this three-point game. If not, you're going to hold the ball until St. X decides to foul. Bombers with 3 fouls in this quarter. They need 2 more to get the Comets in the bonus.
Yeah, and this is a Comets team who did not shoot well from the free throw line last game, but so far in this one, they've done a good job finding the bottom of the bucket from the charity stripe.
As to inbound will be McGeady guarded by, it would be Jacob Lipinski guarded by McGeady. And Ethan Myers, the junior, is in to guard Bryson Johnson. Tosin Oladapo takes it, stumbles, has to throw it away, and he does to Tyler Lipinski. As Tosin hasn't seen this much pressure ever. Is this his second varsity game ever?
Yeah, and he did a great job not panicking and finding the open guy because there was 3 guys on him. That means 2 other guys are open on the court. He was able to find one of them and get it to him across the court in time to prevent the Comets' turnover.
As checking in for the Bombers will be George Kinney. He'll take out Luke Southers. Comets have had the ball for the majority of the fourth quarter. Johnson swings it over to Wortham. Thomas will have any timeouts, and he turns it over. The Bombers have it. to Johnson. Foul
and one. Oh no, the momentum swings there. The Bombers take the lead, and it looked like Bryson had his feet set, but he might have turned at the last second.
The pressure gets to the Comets, and 33-32, 32 seconds to go. Comets with no timeout, so with that one timeout you had to take with a minute left, you can't talk anything over anymore.
Yeah, they just have to run it straight from the coach's box and try to relay it to the players what they need to do. He'll miss the free throw. Any bucket wins the game for the Comets here.
And the Comets got to be careful to not call a timeout on accident. No, Chris Webber in Michigan, very famous for it. 20 seconds to go. The Comets are going to hold for one, it looks like. 15 seconds to go. Johnson takes it inside. Almost called a travel. I thought they would. It was a gather step, and it's going to be a foul.
He'll be shooting 1-and-1. Or is it?
No, it's going to
full
be
bonus?
It's going to be a 1-and-1. And how many times has Johnson been at the line with the game on the line?
Yeah.
We talked about against, I believe it was Sycamore. They had 3 shots with no time left on the clock, and Johnson made the first 2 and couldn't knock down the last one. There's multiple times where the pressure is on and he just simply hasn't delivered, but will this be the time? He already made the game winner and won in game 1. The Bombers missed the free throw to make it a 2-point game. Johnson and Mason's got to be careful. They only have 3 fouls, so if they need 2 more to get them in the bonus, they're going to give the Comets 2 shots here.
Yeah, so full bonus.
Johnson, the first one.
First one is good. Tie game, 33-all, 12 seconds left.
The Bombers have 2 timeouts. They'll decide to use one now.
He'll ice the shooter.
Ice the shooter, but at the same time, it gives the Comets a chance to put up a defensive scheme. With no timeouts, you didn't have anything to hook up almost. But now you have a chance to win the game at the free throw line and with the stop. Caden, if you're St. X, and you would assume once the Comets either make it or miss it, they're going to go down and call another timeout. But if they don't, who is the guy you go to on offense?
I mean, you have to go. I mean, you don't really want to rely on one person. This is St. X team that's very deep. They have lots of scores all over. You don't want to have to focus on. We need to get the ball in this guy's hands, especially if the shot is missing. They decide not to call a timeout and go in transition. You need to get it to the guy with the best opportunity here.
The Comets have fouls to give. Only 1 more to give. The second shot in the double bonus in front of the student section. Johnson got it to drop.
Good.
The Comets take the lead. Those subs will come in. It'll be Toby Oladapo.
A team that has struggled from the free throw line last game. They must have been in there over the weekend just putting up shots from the free throw line. They have taken the lead by way of the free throw.
McGeady with Oladapo on him. To Ryan. Ryan to the inside. Ball on the ground. It'll be a timeout.
The final
Ryan
one.
Fleming. 3 seconds to go in the game. Comets, their back was against the wall the majority of the second half. Very similar story to the game against Fairmont. They won the game on a missed 3-pointer at the buzzer. This time, same scenario. Lennon Aguilar checks into the game. The Comets don't have any size, but if you were to find the biggest person in the school, it would be him. As they wanted him to go in, but they told him maybe not, which is unfortunate because I wanted to see him maybe tip a pass away to end this game.
At 2.8, I mean, it's enough to get a playoff, not straight off the shot. Like, you don't need a shot off the inbound, but you do need a quick one. You can't run a full play once you inbound the ball.
I would say probably enough for a catch, a move, and a shot. And I would expect the Comets to bring a double whenever that ball goes into the ground, just to put a little bit more pressure on the Bombers.
And Lennon is in the game. They
Lennon
bring out the big
Aguilar
guys.
checks into the game to face this inbound pass. Comets, Aguilar, both Lipinskis, Toby Oladapo and Bryson Johnson. Game on the line.
They've got all the length in there, all the quickness. 2.8
Ryan
left.
to throw it in. Running out of options. Throws it in. Right to Tyler Lipinski. Ball's on the ground. And it's so good! The Comets win the game and defeat the Bombers to move to 2-0 in the C.J. Fleming era. Unbelievable.
A huge upset here by the Comets tonight. They have taken this one 34-33. The fans are loving it.
And never would I expect a coaching staff that is this determined to beat and to be the best. 2-0 after a season where the Comets won 4 games. C.J. Fleming is off to the best start you could hope for. As Caden, what a win. You play Princeton on Friday. What do you tell your team after a win like that?
You just have to carry that. You know, these are good teams you're playing. You're playing them tight. You're playing them hard. It's just the intensity that these guys bring. They have to bring it every single time they step on the court.
That'll do it here at Mason Sports Radio. Again, my name's Isaac Varga, along with Caden Winship. Thank you for the crew, Abby Camerati, Daniel Panetti, and James Froelich with the crew tonight. Comets been a stunner and beat the St. X Bombers 34-33.